When you're walking through the world and everything suddenly feels unfamiliar, as if the ground has shifted beneath your feet, what's your first thought? Most people assume they've made a wrong turn, that they've failed, veered off the intended path, and now they're lost. We're taught to believe that a straight line is the only way forward, that clarity is the goal, and any feeling of confusion is a sign of being broken. But what if that's the greatest misunderstanding we all share? What if the feeling of being utterly lost and confused is the most profound sign you could receive? What if it's not a symptom of a failure, but rather the very moment reality is handing you a new map? See, the way we experience the world, the way we live our lives, is based on a set of habits. Think of these like the old maps we've been using our whole lives. They tell us where to go, what's a good idea, what to expect. This is the way things are supposed to be. These maps are reliable. They give us a sense of safety, even if they're leading us to places we don't actually want to go. It's a structure everyone understands. It's the old way of doing things. It's how most people live. But the world isn't a static thing. It's a living, breathing network of connections. Everything is talking to everything else, all the time. Your thoughts, your feelings, the way you interact with people, the seemingly random events of your day. It's all part of this vast conversation. And consciousness, your awareness, isn't some random ethereal thing. It's a mechanism with its own set of rules, its own way of functioning, just like the turning of a key opens a door. When you feel lost, it's often because the old map, the one you've been relying on, no longer reflects the territory. The ground hasn't just shifted, it's been remade. The old directions don't work because the old roads are gone. The confusion you feel is simply the friction between your old habits and the new reality. It's the feeling of your inner self trying to use a map that expired long ago. And the world you're living in right now, it's begging you to notice the coincidences, the recurring symbols, the little events that feel like they mean something. These aren't accidents. They are the reality speaking to you, pointing to the places on the new map. They are the clues, the new directions, showing you the pathways that are now open. The feeling of being lost is not you being off the path. It's the moment you're being invited to learn the language of a whole new world. A world that's been waiting for you to see it. A world that operates on a different, more connected logic. So, the feeling of being lost is the beginning of the journey, not the end. The old map is gone. The question now is, how do you learn to read this new one? How do you even begin to see the clues that are all around you? The first step is to simply accept that reality is not what you were taught it was. It's not a set of rigid lines and separate objects. It's a flowing river and you are part of that current. For a long time, we've believed that our lives are a result of our actions alone, in a vacuum. We push, we pull, we force things to happen. That's the old habit. But the truth is that you are part of a larger, interconnected web. Your decisions are not just about you. They create ripples that flow outward, and things that happen to you aren't random, isolated events. They are part of a continuous conversation. When you stop seeing yourself as a lonely island and start to see yourself as a part of a vast ocean, that's when you begin to learn the new language. The world talks to you in metaphors, in feelings, and in what feel like happy accidents. A person you meet by chance, a line from a book that jumps out at you, a song that plays at the perfect moment. These are not coincidences. These are messages. They are the reality saying, look this way. This is relevant to you right now. It's not about deciphering some hidden secret message. It's about noticing the profound relevance of things that used to seem insignificant. It's the feeling of confusion that happens when you're trying to read these signs with an old world mindset. You're looking for a straight road on a map that shows a whole landscape of possibilities, and your brain is saying, this doesn't make sense. This is the very essence of transformation. It's not a dramatic shift where everything changes overnight. It's the slow and steady process of unlearning old habits and beginning to trust in this new way of seeing. It's a lot like learning to sail. The old way is to get in a rowboat and row against the current with all your might. You'll get somewhere, but it'll be exhausting, and you'll often end up somewhere you didn't even want to go. The new way is to raise your sail, feel the wind, and let it take you. You still steer, you still make decisions, but you're working with the energy of the world, not against it. It's about moving from forcing your way through life to allowing yourself to be guided, from the belief that you must control every outcome to the understanding that you are part of a larger, flowing conversation. This is the new way of living. It's a way that has always been here, but it requires a different kind of attention. The kind of attention you're only willing to give when the old ways have completely failed you. When you feel lost and have nowhere else to look. The resistance you feel to this idea is completely normal. It's the friction of the old habits trying to cling on. That voice in your head that says, that's just nonsense. That's not how the world works. That voice is a ghost from the old map, and it's scared because it sees a new world it can't explain. Don't fight it. Simply notice it. Acknowledge it and then let it pass. The real work is in moving beyond that mental habit and into a place of subtle observation. You'll know you're making progress when you start to see patterns where you used to see chaos, and when you begin to feel a strange, quiet certainty about your next step, even if you can't logically explain why. This is where the distinction between what we call logic and what we call intuition begins to dissolve. We've been taught to rely on one at the expense of the other. But what if intuition is just the lightning-fast logic of the interconnected web? What if it's your consciousness receiving information in a way that doesn't follow a step-by-step path? It's simply the world communicating with you in its native language. The feeling of being lost is the beginning of learning to speak that language. Technical moment. If what you're hearing right now resonates with you, press subscribe. This will show that the information is valuable. And the funny thing is, as soon as you begin to trust this new process, the confusion starts to clear. Not because you've found a single straight road, but because you've stopped looking for one. You've started to see the whole landscape. You start to see that the world isn't a series of problems to solve, but a flow of information to work with. The magic we use to only read about in stories, the things we used to call fate or luck, is simply the scientific explanation for a connected reality that speaks to us all the time. It's a deeper understanding of cause and effect in a world where everything is constantly influencing everything else. And your own consciousness, your awareness, is the greatest tool for navigating this new reality. It's your new compass. So you've felt the confusion. You've begun to understand it as a compass pointing you in a new direction. The old map is gone. The new one is being drawn with every moment. The final step is what to do with this new knowledge. It's about activating it. Because knowing something and living it are two completely different things. You stand on the threshold of a new understanding of yourself. And this isn't about becoming a new person. It's about becoming more of the person you've always been meant to be. The world isn't waiting for you to find the right path. It's waiting for you to start walking. It's waiting for you to make a choice. And the choice is this: to trust the signs, to follow the feelings, to accept that you are part of a conversation that has a momentum and a direction all its own. This is where your personal power truly lies, not in controlling everything, but in moving with the current, not in knowing all the answers, but in being open to the next question. The science of it is simple. What you focus on, you bring closer. What you give your attention to, you strengthen. If you keep looking back at the old map, you'll feel lost forever. But if you start paying attention to the clues that are right in front of you, the people, the places, the feelings, that's when the new way becomes your reality. You're not just a passive observer, you are a participant. Your choices, your thoughts, your trust in this new process, They are all part of the conversation, and they shape the very world around you. This is where you become the architect of your own experience, not by building something from scratch, but by tuning in to the design that is already there. If this video has changed something in you, write in the comments. I am learning to read the new map. Write this as your own promise. Nobody